I say time, you say come. Time. Time.
Somebody please tell the Prime Minister to call the election because the comrades are ready.
Time come for young people. Time come for move Andrew out of power.
Let the people go.
The line stop here. The game done. Time come.
So when them cutting ribbon over hospital with them paint up, we're going to cut hernias. We're going to cut fibroids, cancers.
Don't believe in me. I'm not Jesus. Believe with me that better can come.
With Mark Golding as Prime Minister, the dreams you dream today will be the reality he creates tomorrow.
The people of Jamaica are ready for change. Everywhere I go, I see the wind of change blowing.
Somebody asks me, Perry, why aren't you a labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
No one said one blood and comrade victory.
We are going to Jamaica House. We are rescuing Jamaica, and Mark Golding will be the next Prime Minister.
Power, power, power to the people. Power to the people. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit.
The context in which this election is being held is important. Although the fiscal reforms engineered under the administration of Portia Simpson Miller, managed by Peter David Phillips, have achieved 13 and a half years of sustained debt reduction, stabilizing our macroeconomy to the point where the fiscal commissioner this week gone has in writing confirmed that the debt to GDP ratio target of 60% of GDP will at last be achieved by the end of this fiscal year. It is a new era that Jamaica is embarking on. But the context in which we are embarking on it is a decade of almost no growth, where 55% of the Jamaican people are suffering from food insecurity, as measured by the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, where foreign direct investment has fallen by 80% over the last decade under the government of the Jamaica Labour Party, and where the productivity of our workforce has declined by some 21% since 2007. This is why our policies and programs have been designed to address these fundamental challenges facing the people. That is why we are going to ensure that children who need it when they go to school, they will get the hot, nutritious meal that they need. That is why we're going to ensure that parents who struggle to send their children to school, especially in rural Jamaica, because the cost of rural transportation is so high, they will get a subsidy, $400. They will get a subsidy, $10,000 for the month, for each child in the family, to help cover the cost of going to school. It is why we're going to support our students at university. First of all, with the First in Family Scholarship Program, because I've seen where the children do everything that they're supposed to do. Study them book, keep out of bad company, pass their exams, but then they can't go any further because they can't manage the financial aspect. And we say, if you're the first in your family to qualify for university or college, the People's National Party will give you a full scholarship. And we expect you to uplift your brothers and sisters when you pass through the gate and benefit from that scholarship. And for our students, you don't have to worry about borrowing from the Student Loan Bureau under the People's National Party. First of all, we will cap your monthly payment at a manageable portion of your actual income so that you will be able to live comfortably while you service that debt. Secondly, if you find yourself out of a job for whatever reason, we will suspend the obligation to pay. It will not mash up your credit. Those payments will go on the back end of your loan. And when you get yourself back on your feet again, and you come back again, your credit will be decent. You can still try and buy the house. You can still try and buy the car. It is why we have a very progressive policy of support for our farmers, taking some of the tax that is on the food imports, which have doubled under this government, from 800 million US to 1.6 billion US a year, taking some of those taxes and putting them in a fund dedicated to support the farmers of Jamaica so they can produce more food, so they can get the things they need, the inputs to prepare the land, the storage facilities, better farm roads, and all of the other aspects of farming that are required, because we need to produce, we need to grow our food, eat what we grow what we eat, and feed those countries around us that are not as blessed as we are when it comes to agriculture. And it is why when we see all of the people living on land, public land, living on it for years, build them house, but they don't have no title, and the colonial law that says they can't get a title unless they live there undisturbed for 60 years is such a wickedness. We're going to reduce it to 25 years. We're going to get them their title. And when we run the maths, we see that we will be transferring over $1 trillion of ownership value to the people of Jamaica in the biggest transfer of ownership in the history of this land. There are so many things we want to do. We want to help our workers. We want to ensure that the contract work abuse that goes on in various sectors of the economy, having our workers on a string like a yo-yo, denying them the rights that they should have as full-time employees. We're going to put a stop to that abuse. I want to thank the hotel workers I was reasoning with a few weeks ago here in Montego Bay, who said to me, Marky G, the tax and the tips and the gratuity, it have we away. We need more money in our pocket. We work hard, but we can't make ends meet. I beg you, deal with that for me. I'm going to deal it for you, because my sister, you need it. We're going to deal with it for them. We won't be taxing the tips and the gratuity. And the security guards and the police and the firemen and any worker who earns overtime pay in this country, if your earnings are under $6 million a year, you will not be taxed on your overtime, because we know you need that little break to make your life that much easier, that much more bearable, that much nicer. And when they see the struggles that families are going through, reflected in the food insecurity, because they're talking about poverty rate and they're talking about unemployment rate. But if those rates don't mean anything because people hungry and people not eating properly, that means something must be done. And that is why we're going to increase the income tax threshold to $3.5 million a year. You will pay zero tax on the first $3.5 million of your income. It is going to mean a significant benefit for many people who are struggling now. And for those who earn more, they will get the benefit up to 3.5. So there's something in it for them as well. And comrades, we're going to govern the country with a seriousness of intent to restore dignity and integrity and confidence and trust in the leadership of the country by the people who elect and put us there. We'll be introducing the impeachment legislation. So we will put an end to a situation where an MP can be caught on a video with a big stool in a car park, beating a woman bad, and nothing don't come out of it at all. And he's running to be a candidate for the JLP again in this election. They don't respect the women of this country. We'll be introducing the unexplained wealth orders for all of those people who get rich out of public life because they're not serving the people, they're serving themselves. They will have to account to the law for their wrongdoings. And we will ensure that every member of the government has their statutory declarations published by the Integrity Commission. We will amend the law to achieve that, so we have greater levels of transparency. Right now, it's just the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition who are required to do that. But his can't be published because his are not yet certified. Because for him thing not straight, him in a problem with the Integrity Commission, and him now been referred to the FID, the Financial Investigations Division, and him come in a debate and tell pure lie. But the people of Jamaica, them no fool, them know the truth. So comrades and friends, as we approach the 3rd of September, we're also approaching the new school year. And I want to take this opportunity to say to all of our parents, all of our students, all of our teachers, everybody involved in the education system, I wish you all the very best as you start the new school year. May God bless you and keep you safe in your transportation arrangements. May the children get to school safely and come home safely. And make the school year be a success for you all. Comrades, it is with great humility and a great sense of purpose that I put myself forward to become the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. I dedicate myself to serving the people of Jamaica, all of the people of Jamaica, and in particular, those who need the help of a caring government, a People's National Party government that knows about the struggles of the people and that has established itself from 1938 for upliftment of the people. I commit myself to continue that mission and to help move Jamaica from stagnation, from hopelessness, move on to a better quality of life for us all, higher levels of economic growth, and Jamaica will be moving up with the PNP to a better place. Comrades, on Wednesday, I ask you, all undecided voters, even laborites, put your ex beside the head and return Jamaica to decency. Return Jamaica to being a country that the whole of the world can look on and say, that is a little Caribbean pearl. We rate them. Comrades, God bless you all. The word is love. Power to the people. Power to the people.
My wisdom warriors, may I tell you, say last night was a blast. The place nice. And may I tell you, I am so proud of the People's National Party. One thing I want to know if you do, I want to know if you go out on the 3rd of September and put on an X beside the head. Don't make nobody stop on. Don't make nobody stop on from going out to vote. Even if there's a bomb threat, you still come out in our millions and vote for the People's National Party. My wisdom warriors, I was watching a conference this morning with Raymond Price and Cleveland. And may I tell you, say, I feel some type of way because imagine the people them on their way going home from the rally and the labor right, them are stone the bus. Right now, a young lady has been hospitalized. Jamaica, this is not right. And when we hear Desmond Mackenzie come out and say they will never surrender Jamaica to the People's National Party, listen to me, these people are planning to kill them own people for power. This is their plan. You understand? But guess what? Our God that we serve will intervene. Our God that we serve will intervene. That's why I tell you, no go out in our numbers. Even if you don't want to wear the orange shirt, you don't have to wear plain shirt. Wear maybe white shirt, black shirt. Just wear plain shirt, my wisdom warriors, and just go and do nothing. Uno labor right. Uno have sense. Uno need to go out and vote for the People's National Party. I want to know what type of party is this though. Seriously, the Jamaica Labour Party coming out talking about they will never surrender Jamaica. So Jamaica is definitely hold hostage. You don't see that? Because when you're using this word surrender, you will never surrender. That means you're going to refuse to give up, you're going to war, and even death. Like literally, we have to look on it like that, Jamaica. We have to look on it like that. Anyway, my people, I want to take in Raymond price. Hear this.
We raise the income tax threshold to $3.5 million minimum wage.
Livable wage, because the JLP is giving them numbers. What assurance can you give those persons at home listening, wondering what is the PNP's proposal, what will be a livable wage for them? Thank you.
You know, I tell you something interesting. The amount to which the JLP says they intend to raise the minimum wage falls smack within the same range that we will be giving back to people when we raise the income tax threshold to $3.5 million. Imitation is the best form of a compliment. So the fact that they are banding about the same figure basically that we have assured the public can be afforded is their way, somewhat tangential, obtuse even, to accept that the data presented by the party president in the leadership debate was correct. Recall that when Mark Golding stated what the current ratio was in terms of debt to GDP, the Prime Minister was caught unaware. He didn't have a clue. So now that he and he alone, not his finance minister, not his Labour and Social Security, roughly the same figure, I think he has been briefed. I think he has been briefed, realized his information was incorrect, and as I said earlier, is clutching at straws. What's the difference with the concept of a livable income? As Cleveland pointed out, the macroeconomic data tells of the general health. It's a headline. But for the consumer, for the household, for the people who make up the families across Jamaica, that headline statistic doesn't mean anything to them if their purchasing power is eroded. So the combination of proposals we're putting forward, non-removal of the taxes on overtime, the RIDE program to do a subsidy for transportation for families in rural Jamaica or families across Jamaica who need it.
This is program,
which provides hot
because
meal, at least one per day per student who needs it across the public education sector. The strengthening of PATH and other programs will augment what wage persons at that level of the economy are being paid. So the concept of a livable wage is when you consider all the factors that a household needs, that a citizen needs, the ability to go to a health center and not to be sent to another one, or to go to the hospital and not have to sleep for days on a wheelchair before they can be triaged to ascertain the extent of what is making them unwell. The fact that they can move freely and their children can get to school 5 days a week, and there are other programs to augment their education outcome. That's the concept of livability, or a term from my brethren them in the Rastafari faith. It's about enhancing the overall livability across the nation. So yes, he did throw out a specific number, a specific figure, which oddly enough mirrors the figure he criticized could not have been achieved. So thanks, Mr. Holness, for confirming to us what we already knew, that our data was accurate, our research was accurate, and that the Jamaican people have been gravitating to the overall improvements that will be provided to them when on September 3 this year, 48 hours from now, they put their X beside their head on their individual ballots and bring to office the People's National Party and a new Prime Minister. And forgive me for saying it again, Kalisha, new PM by 1 p.m.
And Kalisha will add as well, we are of the view that the optimal way to adjust the minimum wage is through a commission that requires and engages in consultation. Because one can appreciate that there are delicacies on both sides of the coin. There will be implications. And we don't think that it should be politicized in the way as a desperation tactic to win an election, as the Jamaica Labour Party is characterizing it as, is portraying it to be. We think that you need a series of consultation. You need to engage with the stakeholders because there can be serious ramifications. And we are committed to that process of consultation.
Just a quick follow-up. Based on where you sit now, I understand the implications, but in terms of, say, the People's National Party forms the next government, in terms of where you're going, what you're looking at right now in terms of the minimum wage, I know you don't want to give figures, but in terms of minimizing all the risks, what would you say would be like a reasonable amount to increase the minimum wage by over a 4-year period, per se?
Well, we are of the view that an increase in the minimum wage must be consistent with the movement of inflation, because inflation erodes the purchasing power. So as inflation moves throughout the economy over time, we think that it necessitates an adjustment in minimum wage. So we will be guided by data. We'll be guided by the inflation outlook. We will be guided by consensus among stakeholders. We'll not be guided by an attempt to win an election because of political desperation, because a prime minister knows that his time is coming to an end.
Any other questions?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Giovanni White from IRFM, of course.
You're like the fifth Giovanni that across electronic media.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
But no one knows me much as yet.
Well, they do know.
They do know. My question to you is, throughout this campaign, the importance and the role of the political ombudsman has been very, very a great question. More so, your party has faced criticism in regards to statements you've made over the campaign trail. But I also want to ask you, based on Robert Morgan's comment last night at the rally.
Which one's
and
in
I'll
particular?
Quote, and I'll quote.
I was elsewhere.
Well, I understand, but I will quote for you. His words were, "Me hear Damien Crawford all over the media, but him couldn't come a Spanish Town with him clown show because Spanish Town vanish clown." What is your comment on that?
It's perhaps not a coincidence that their party color is green, and green is a global color that symbolizes envy. You had to clarify which Morgan you were speaking about. When somebody says Damien or Crawford, there is no doubt in the nation as to which Damien or Crawford you're speaking about. That Morgan still a keep is my first response. My second response is consistent with the diatribe, the garbage, the nonsense, the rubbish, the waste that is being spewed. We're elevating it now because I'm sure no one watching heard it, and I appreciate you asking the question because you reminded me that there is a Robert Nesta Morgan. But I just never know him did still a keep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. Mr. Price, you mentioned earlier about an attack yesterday. Can you say whether or not there was any reports were made to the police or the political ombudsman?
Oh, yes, the substantive question about the political ombudsman. Let me answer it. There are certain things, just as Cleveland explained, when you look on an economy, you look on the rate of inflation, you look on the net international reserves, you look on the debt to GDP ratio. Similarly, there are certain things that you look on when you are assessing the strength and health of a democracy. You don't look on the individuals who occupy positions from time to time. You look on the institutions which last generations to generation. One of those institutions is the Office of the Political Ombudsman, a commission of parliament backed up by statute, by legislation, that for many election cycles, persons knew that the occupant of the office, the individual who held the office, would be the referee, the umpire, if you will, that will say, hey, candidate A, that's not kosher. Retract, withdraw. Party A, candidate A has not yet retracted or withdrawn. Party A's leader must then act. The fact that the Jamaica Labour Party has eroded, defunded, diminished the value of that institution to make it amorphous, that has caused serious harm and injury to the brand of another institution that safeguards democracy, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. And then when you juxtapose that with the often repeated remark, we will not surrender Jamaica, a reasonable person would ask, is this a part of the plan? To foil our democracy, to foil our standards, remove the political ombudsman, bury it in ambiguity, and then practice this kind of reckless politics, where yesterday in East Central St. Catherine, for example, a female worker was handing out voters' guides. Someone notified my opponent where she was. My opponent drove down on her. There are videos across social media. I'll share one with you at the close of this morning's press conference, where he's up in her face, microphone in hand, intimidating her, goading her, asking her why she handing out voters' guides for a criminal organization. In his own words, not mine, not hers. Because I have asked, once we recognize that my opponent is a stalker who consistently stalks my campaign, I've said it to our workers, whenever he comes, record him, video him. In a case reported yesterday to the head of St. Catherine South, who dispatched a unit to aid the said party worker, the close protection officer assigned to my opponent is also seen in a menacing way charging at the party worker. Who do I report that to this morning? An amorphous grouping? Because the Electoral Commission of Jamaica is already focused on its tremendous primary mandate to safeguard the procedures and processes of Wednesday. So I join the rank of Jamaicans who are saying, then that's why them did do away with the office of the political ombudsman, so them are things you can go along without any checks and balances being made. So the injured person traveling on the bus yesterday who's been hospitalized, that report has been made. And I am aware of other reports that have been made, not just to the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, in which somewhere there is the activities being carried out that were once the remit of the Office of the Political Ombudsman. But in this example I have given with East Central St. Catherine, our candidates are advised to report to Party Central, and in a situation of emergency, such as yesterday in Christian Gardens, where residents called me, not knowing the man that had charged that the worker was a police officer, my opponent's CPO, but just said, Mr. Price, send police quick because a man where I walk with Terrelonge just pull gun pan one of the PNP woman them. It's despicable. It belongs in the Carboniferous era, way back in human evolution. And God is still God, you know, and nobody escapes him or his judgment. And we are a praying party. We are the people's national party. We know the nation that they're born in that gives them their national identity. And we have never, going back to 1944 with universal adult suffrage, we have never attempted to diminish the importance of universal adult suffrage and people's right to vote. We were not the party that said, if we don't win on election day, we're going to lock down Jamaica tighter than a sardine can. We were not the party that said we will never surrender Jamaica. We were not the party that said, I'm going to stand up at crossroads and sit downtown. We have always been the party to say, vote for the PNP. For sure, put your ex beside the head. But we don't intimidate and we don't violate. And we will never start doing that.
So, una sister, the labor right them only want to war. And you want to treat them like dog shit. Favor treat them like shit house. And you not like uno, and out here, want kill off on the brothers and sisters for one rascal thief. You see, una labor right now have no sense. Una sister, una not have no sense. The People's National Party, I try to help uno. I try to save uno sorry ass. Mark Gold enough to come out and do this. But him said the country is going down the wrong direction and them a try to help uno. But you see, uno Jamaican people, you see, if uno not do the right thing, me I tell uno will always remember these words when me say, remember me tell uno that, yeah? Uno go suffer like dog. This is why me I encourage every single well-thinking Jamaicans to go out on the 3rd of September and put the X beside the head. We need changes, Jamaica. We want a change. Time come. My wisdom warriors, I hear some here left it, Uno tell me what uno think, uno tell me how uno feel, and put an honest opinion in the comment section. Like up the video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Big up with a nice clean self. One love.
This are for the real comrades them. Real PNP. Blood and fire PNP. May I talk to the junglist them. Skeng down and the crew down a Mandeville. The blood and fire comrades. Me said the blood and fire comrades. Do you see the manifesta? Do you see the manifesta? Maka go drive them crazy. Hey. Me said the blood and fire comrades. Me said the blood and fire comrades. Do you see the manifesta? Do you see the manifesta? My golden have for you. On the day of election, everybody come out from each direction. Mark golden selection. Put the X beside the head, that's our intention. Insert it in the ballot box. Hey Jamaica, make sure so we got it locked. Some people don't love it and they love the aggressor. Make them know say Mark is better.